If Kyrgios was more emotionally mature, he would have beat Djokovic, man. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. This is the Magic Man, the tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, and the tennis pastor coming back at you again for another video. People, this is a very serious video, and a lot of people may disagree with this video because I'm going to be saying some personal stuff about Kyrgios, and I'm going to give y'all my take of the way Kyrgios played and why he lost and how he had a great chance of winning. Okay, and I'm giving you it from the tennis prophet perspective here. Okay, but let me just say this first of all, people. Everything that everybody is praising Kyrgios about, the good stuff, okay, like his talent, his popularity. Kyrgios popular, man. They had the camera. Y'all see that when Kyrgios was when Djokovic and Kyrgios was on the changeover, they had the camera more on Kyrgios than Djokovic. Kept it on. They didn't put it on Djokovic. Even when Kyrgios was not acting silly and talking to himself. That's how popular and electrifying Kyrgios is. Okay, so I agree with that Kyrgios, he brings a lot to tennis. A lot of young people like him. He may be more popular than Federer and Nadal. Now, I don't know. I haven't looked at the ratings. Who's more popular in the tennis world? Federer, Nadal, or Kyrgios? I don't know. Kyrgios' game, they say he got the best serve, probably between him and Isner, but most people say Kyrgios' serve is better than Isner's. So that's really saying something. I agree with that. Kyrgios is the most talented player on the tour, probably is. He got the best trick shots, he got the best winning record percentage-wise against the top three, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. Yeah. He plays better when he plays those guys. Yes. Kyrgios, he may have the best game on the tour. I mean, if you just say game, he got one of the best games, best styles. He got one of the highest levels. He could be the most skilled player, definitely top, one of the top, if not the top. So all that what they said is true. He can beat anybody on the given day when he really, really want to and keep his head. If his head is straight, he will have many majors now, probably. That's probably true. But that's not the case, and that's what I want to talk about, people. Let's get to the title of the video. Kyrgios, his emotional, I could use the word mental, but I'm going to use the word emotional. Because that's emotional. A lot of people, when you see John McEnroe act crazy back in the day, y'all can go watch when McEnroe used to act. People would say, "Oh, McEnroe is mentally this or mentally." No, that's emotional stuff. But I mean, but when the emotions break down, it does distort. It totally breaks down the mental focus. People, the reason why Kyrgios lost his match wasn't because of his skill, his game, his play, his serve, because he's still emotionally immature. Even if he's got a little better, but he ain't got a lot better, where he's humbled down and realized, man, I want to make a 360 change in my life, okay? That's why I didn't take Kyrgios. I gave him, but see, even with that, people, I said he has a great chance of winning, but I didn't take Kyrgios. That's why I didn't do a video saying Kyrgios is going to win. I haven't seen that turnaround. So the reason why Kyrgios lost, Kyrgios could have won this, people. He could have won this match had he kept his head straight and been emotionally mature, at least much more emotionally mature than what he is. And that would have kept his head straight. But he's not there yet, okay? And maybe He could be close because he was close today, but he's not even close as far as being a multiple Grand Slam champion. Maybe could he pull off one? Yeah, he was close. He could pull off one probably where he is if he got a little better. But I would say he had to get a lot better emotionally and spiritually mature. Okay. Now, people, let me just say, um, it sort of bothers me. Now, like I just said, I do like how they praise Kyrgios, but it does. I do feel they may be praising him a little too much, uh, because nobody is really criticizing the emotional immaturity. And that's what I'm doing. It's like everybody sort of gloss over that and sort of say something like, even Patrick McEnroe and John McEnroe, they almost try to make it like it's part of the show. And it's almost like some people think that's good for tennis. I don't really see people. Listen, I don't buy that ideal that being emotionally immature is good for tennis. People, listen, if Kyrgios was emotionally mature, he could still be electrifying and eccentric and be even more popular. Like, let's just say this, people. Michael Jordan didn't have to act immature to be Michael Jordan. Muhammad Ali didn't have to act immature to be Muhammad Ali. Tiger Woods, people, even before Tiger Woods got into the scandal, he carried himself in a very mature way. And he was already Tiger Woods, a big icon. So I don't buy that idea that tennis needs a player to act stupid like Kyrgios so it can save tennis. No, you don't. You can Kyrgios, if he all of a sudden took my advice from this video, he would be more famous. He'll have more endorsements. Okay? All right? So the whole and people, you can get attention without being immature. People, let me just say something here. I want y'all to imagine something. Imagine if I was a professional tennis player or even a commentator. Imagine if the tennis prophet all of a sudden went to a pro level in tennis and my name is the tennis prophet. Do you think I need to act stupid to get attention? I pretty well think the tennis prophet, I think most of y'all would agree, if I was famous, I'd probably be more famous than Kyrgios. I don't need to act stupid. I just need to present myself in a very good way. I don't need to act stupid to try to be more famous. So I don't buy that idea. Okay, people, let me get deep now. People, you know what else bothered me? It's when I look at the parents. Come on, man. People, I'm going to be honest with you. And some of y'all are going to disagree with this. Some of y'all who are parents are going to say, nah, Magic Man, nah, you being too hard on the parents now. This ain't the parents' fault that Kyrgios is this way. People, listen. Yes, it is. Now it's up to Kyrgios to get help for himself. He's definitely way over 18. So now it ain't the parents' responsibility anymore. But man, if I was a parent, people, if I was Kyrgios' father, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed. You'd be like, Magic Man, why? Kyrgios played well. People, listen to me. Stop it. If Kyrgios, the way he beat Djokovic the first set, did y'all see the first set? He was calm. I was like, man, Kyrgios, up until the last, when it was 5-4, and Kyrgios was serving for the match, and he did close it out. I think, was it 6-4? Kyrgios, he didn't have any outbursts. He was not saying nothing. He was not even talking to himself until it was 5-4. So I couldn't believe it. Kyrgios is so calm. So he should learn from this. I'm thinking, man, Djokovic could be in trouble. I'm like, I know Djokovic fans was worried. Man, listen. So if I was the father, I would be embarrassed. That, especially if I was his coach too. Even if I wasn't his coach right now, if I had been training him as a kid, I would be embarrassed that I didn't deal with my son acting this way when he was a kid, when you can sort of get a kid when you can sort of instill some discipline in a kid before they get too old. I understand once he got 16 or 17, he's too big. You can't control. I mean, you can try to, but now you can come at him in a very mature way as an adult and try to talk to him as an adult. But I'm surprised the parents didn't instill some type of discipline in him as a kid. And people, this ain't just Kyrgios. I see people today. I see a lot of these kids today, all this narcissist, not taking responsibility for anything, disrespecting their parents. I can imagine the way Kyrgios talked to his parents when he was a kid. And they let him get away with that. And this is what you got. So I was like, man, I looked at the parents like, they was like, when Kyrgios was just talking to himself all unnecessarily, and even talking to himself when he was winning. I'm like, man, what are you doing? You winning. You are 40 love. Why are you looking at the box acting like a fool? You could close Djokovic out. People, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I've already did a video. Djokovic played well, okay? And he really took it to another level, started hitting the ball well. But people, I can see after Kyrgios won the first set, if he would have kept his emotions intact, if he would have been emotionally immature, which would have kept him mentally focused, not saying a word, that's totally in the game, people, I could see him beating Djokovic straight sets. Now, some people are going to disagree with that. What I saw today, because I considered Djokovic raising his level even. If Kyrgios, see, this is what people don't understand. If Kyrgios would have stayed calmer and would have been emotionally mature, he would have raised his level even higher than the first set when he beat Djokovic. But let me get back to the parents. Yeah, man. Y'all parents, I'm going to be honest, Kyrgios parents, y'all did a bad job. And then after that, even when he was 13 and probably acting crazy on the court, you couldn't get a psychologist to sort of at least try to deal with this. And now, for those of y'all that are going to jump in the comment section and try to defend Kyrgios' parents, people, listen. If you love your son, like me, I'm going to speak from my perspective. If I really love my son, I want him to win. And I know if you don't deal with this, if I don't deal with this crazy emotional instability where you got to just talk out loud to yourself during a whole match and saying all kind of negative stuff and just so off focus, my son is not going to win a major. I would have dealt with that long time ago, people, and I would have dealt with it without being abusive to him. I would have convinced him, son, you're not going to win this way. And then I even would have got like psychological help for him or spiritual help or whatever. All right, and let me see if there's anything else I want to say about that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I would have been this way. If I was Kyrgios' father, I would have told him, Dad, I'm not coming to this Wimbledon if you can't stay emotionally stable, because you're not going to beat Djokovic if you're not emotionally stable. I understand some outbursts, but if you're not going to be emotionally stable, I'm going to stay home. I watch it from TV. I support you from TV. I'm not going to come there and make you, first of all, not just let you make a fool of me as a father. I wouldn't even do it selfishly. I would tell him this here: you're not going to win. I'm not going to waste my time going there to support you. If you're going to win the first set, be a 40 love, serving out of your mind, and just because you miss one shot, then you start talking and running your mouth, all this crazy drama show, and then it's 40-30, then it's deuce, and then you lose a crucial game where you could have put Djokovic away in 2 sets or maybe straight sets, okay? And people, if I was coaching Kyrgios, people, I'm going to be honest with you. When he was up 40 love, serving his mind off, and then he was winning. He's winning a match. And he started talking to himself and yelling and screaming and just constant, not just 1 or 2 times. Because he was winning as a coach, I would have got up and walked out. And you know why I walked out? You know I would have walked out? This is why I would have told him. And if I would have told the media this too. I didn't, they would say, well, why are you walking out just cause he lost the game? I would say, no. I understand people get mad and throw rackets. Even Simona Halep crushes her racket. Y'all see Simona Halep? Nice Simona Halep. Oh, she hits it and then she makes sure the racket is broke. Bam, bam. And then she pick it up, look at it, make sure it's really broken, and she hit it a couple times. Serena do all that stuff. But my problem with Kyrgios today, as a coach, you were winning. If you were losing, you beat Djokovic, won the first set, get ready to go up and run away with the second set, and you serving out of your mind, and you up 40, love with you serving, and you start acting the fool. I'm upset that you were winning and acting stupid. I understand if you losing and acting stupid, but winning and acting stupid, there is no hope then. If you winning and still acting stupid, like it'll be like, have you ever heard like suppose a person go rob a store, and let's say they get out of trouble and they come to you and say, let's say they tell you, the reason I robbed the store, Magic Man, because I asked you for $100 to buy some food and you didn't give me the $100. And so that's why I went and robbed the store and I had to go to jail for 6 months. Okay. I don't agree with that, but I somewhat could understand that. But suppose you come to me and I give you the $100, you put the $100 in your pocket and then you go rob the store. So you were winning with 100 and you still go rob the store. You rob the grocery store. You take $100 worth of groceries out of the store. Then there's no hope for you. Then I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna say, listen, I understood if you didn't have food and didn't have $100, but I gave you $100, so you want to go rob the store. So my thing with Kyrgios would be like, wait a minute, you had Djokovic you was headed towards putting Djokovic away. You were winning and you acting stupid. I could understand if you were losing. Okay, people. So that was a major thing right there. Now let me see if there's anything else. Yeah. I want to say this now. Let's move on to this. Because they asked Patrick McEnroe and John McEnroe the question, and they went one-sided with it. They went totally Kyrgios' way. Okay, they said, the question was, do you believe Kyrgios is a great role model for kids? Oh, and I think the question John McEnroe and Patrick McEnroe asked each other, what would you say if your child came up to you and said, Dad or Mom, I want to be like Kyrgios? Okay, now I know you may be saying, well, what are they talking about? Are they talking about tennis skill? Are they talking about his personality? So McEnroe did say this. It made some sense, but he still didn't deal with the negative stuff about Kyrgios. Now I understand he's on national and international TV, and and it probably wouldn't be appropriate. Yeah, he probably could not. It probably wouldn't be appropriate to say what I'm saying. I mean, I got an independent YouTube channel. I can say what I want to say, long as I ain't saying nothing too bad where YouTube will ban me. So I understand why John McEnroe and they wanted to keep it positive. So McEnroe and Patrick McEnroe agreed. They would just tell their kids, they would focus on the positive things about Kyrgios, and they would tell their kids to follow the positive things. So they would just talk about the positive things. But okay, that's fine. But as far as, what I don't want to see, people? I really don't want to see this. I don't want to go to the parks. And let's say a parent doesn't sit down with their kids and say, listen, you don't want to act like Kyrgios emotionally. That's emotionally immature as an adult. Okay? As an adult, you do not want to follow his example with that. And plus, it doesn't help you win. Like the tennis prophet is trying to preach in this video. Doing all that constant talking and yelling 24 hours during the whole match, except for the first set. You see, it doesn't help you win. Watch the match. He could have beat Djokovic. So it doesn't help you. So if a parent does that, and tell the negative side, don't follow the personality, but you can follow the skill. And I like that now. I like that they teach an in between. Like I like how that hit between the legs. I think Kyrgios does it well because some coaches probably would say you shouldn't teach that. But no, as long as you do it at the right time and you do it with focus, and Kyrgios does it like it's a regular shot. He doesn't do it and really, most of those trick shots Kyrgios does, he wins the point. So he does those trick shots with as much focus as his regular shots. I think they should teach that. They teach that in camps. Do trick shots, but between the leg tweeners, between the leg shots, do those. Oh, that's great. Serve like Kyrgios, that's great. Have the talent of Kyrgios, that's great. But don't act like Kyrgios. That's not good. That's not a good example. And let me get to this point, what I was starting to say. The worst thing I would hate is to go to a park, go to some junior tournament, and see some juniors who they have an immature perception of how to be like Kyrgios. Like teenage, like if you like 12 or 13, you may not know how to separate the good from the bad. So you think you ain't mature enough to see the reason why Kyrgios lost against Djokovic, because he's emotionally immature. So a 11-year-old or a 10-year-old, they think, wait a minute. No, okay, I can do between the legs like Kyrgios, but I also need to act like Kyrgios emotionally. So I would hate to go to a park and see some 10-year-old arguing with the umpire, arguing with his dad, I don't understand this. I was up 40-love. And just acting like Kyrgios, trying to act like Kyrgios. And that's what I hope I don't see. I hope I don't see young players trying to act like Kyrgios emotionally. Because if you do, you're going to lose. You want to take the good part of Kyrgios, not the bad part. Okay, let me see, is there anything else I want to make it see in this video? So people, if I had to get Kyrgios a grade for this video from like the tennis prophet level, most of you all are giving him an A, saying Kyrgios played well. I'm going to give him a B, because from an emotional standpoint, people pretty well, like I said, after the first set, he was constantly talking and now he would stop sometime, but it would start right back up. And the reason I'm giving him a B, not an A, even though I know you look at the stats, he served well and all this stuff, the reason I'm giving him a B instead of an A, and I'm going to end the video here, is because he was acting emotionally immature and stupid when he was winning. 2 or 3 times, he had 40-love against Djokovic. What are you screaming for? You're winning. Stay quiet. Listen, at least stay quiet. Get out of the game. If you want to go over there on the changeover and talk while you winning, that wouldn't bother me as much. The fact that you was winning at times and still acting silly and creating drama, I'm giving you a B, not an A. All right, people, let me know what you think. Get in there. This is a great discussion. Yeah, man. Yeah. Kyrgios, yeah. Yeah, if he would have been emotionally mature, I could have seen Kyrgios beating Djokovic straight sets the way that thing started off. Okay, people, tennis preacher, prophet, psychic, sign it off. Have a good one. That's what I would do. Tennis preacher, prophet. Let's talk about it.